Heather Ryan, host of Child Beauty Pageants. Heather, you run these beauty pageants. Do you think that this French ban is a good idea? I would think you probably don't.
No, I think this French ban is an affront on parents, and it's an assault to our rights as women to parent our children properly. They tacked it onto a piece of legislation that's supposed to be for women's rights. This is anything but feminism. It is absolutely going in the wrong direction.
All right, Lisa Bloom.
You know, I say, très bon, magnifique to the French. We want to see little girls doing these pelvic thrusts and having these fake conical breasts in the image that we're showing right now. You know, the worst issue for me is even beyond the sexualization of these little girls. It's teaching them that what they look like is the most important. Don't we want to raise our daughters that their brains and that their character and their accomplishments and their achievements are more important than dressing up and having fake tans?
Yes, but really, do you want the government to start getting involved in deciding what clothes and what runway a little child can go down? I mean, listen, there's a lot of things that are horrible for kids, like junk food. Mo Ivory, if you start banning things, I think there are things to ban before banning pageants.
Well, I think that, I don't know if I agree with you there, Jane. Listen, I think that the government plays a role in things that parents don't do. For example, we have a lot of things that are social that we have laws around. You can't smoke until you're a certain age. You can't drink until you're a certain age. You can't go to nightclubs, all kinds of things that are social activities that we restrict children from. Now, some parents would allow their kids to go to a club at 14, but thankfully they cannot do that. I absolutely think we need to do something about this reality TV thing gone wild, where we have now decided to put our children up front and exploit them this way. Now, I would expect anybody who runs a pageant to say, I don't want to ban this. It's a for-profit business. They make big money doing these pageants, but this is not the place
There's
for
a lot
children.
of things that make big money.
Sure,
for example, junk food makes a lot of big money. I mean, when you start opening this Pandora's box, where does it end? What about cheerleading? I mean, who's to decide what outfit? Like, whose job is it to decide what is ultimately in the best interest of girls? Let's take a look at this video of Wendy Dickey's little girl dressed as Pretty Woman from TLC, and then we're going to debate it.
Hey.
They dressed Paisley up like Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman as a prostitute.
All right, straight out to the Lion's Den, we've got a very special guest, Wendy Dickey herself, former pageant mom, featured in TLC's Toddlers and Tiaras. You dressed your daughter as Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman. Well, first of all, I have to ask you, Wendy, that character was a hooker. Why would you dress your daughter in a character that is a prostitute?
Well, you know, I've said this several times on many different shows. This was a case of really bad editing. Yes, I did dress her up like that, but this was a skit that Paisley performed where she went behind a prop and she came back out as a completely reformed, different Julia Roberts that was cut out. But this is just one example that this show is taking the worst of the worst, then they edit, they twist, they bring out every negative possible thing that they can about pageants. And to my knowledge, before this show existed, there was not a lot of negative things about pageants. But in the past 4 years since this show has existed, pageants have gotten a horrible, horrible rap.